Why did you put me in?
I'm gonna tell you another thing that people can do though, both men and women. When you do have a certain power about you, whether it be your attributes, skills, or your looks, you don't weaponize it against men or women. You actually use it as an asset to promote consciousness, knowledge, empowerment, unity, instead of using it against people. There's a lot of things that certain brothers on this panel could do to weaponize the gifts they have, the skills they have, the looks they have to take advantage of people. But instead, you do it to empower people, liberate people, and tell the truth. So if you do possess a certain power, make sure you're responsible with that power. There's a lot of things that there's certain brothers on this, brothers and sisters on this panel that know they don't have to do nothing because of things that they possess. But don't weaponize it against the people you connect with. Don't weaponize it with people you say you love, and don't weaponize it against your community.
Okay, so DJ, what did I say? Because you didn't get Sweeney's right. So judging by that kind of pattern, I'm gonna assume you ain't gonna get mine right either.
I'm not here to summarize y'all word salad. It was what it was. Bunch of nothing.
I think that was, you probably could have used your current episode that you just had as a way to tell women not to do what you just did, and the world probably would be better off.
Okay, PTSD.
So this is and
but remember this: if he said Aisha, if he said okay postpartum, it would be very insulting and offensive. But if the brother really did have PTSD from serving in the military for his country, that should be extremely offensive to everyone, because he went to serve for our right to talk, for our right to even have peace, for us to be in the position that anybody who served in the army, they did that for us. And if he does have PTSD, that should be something that we're concerned about, especially when we ask brothers to be emotionally available, when we ask brothers to be emotionally intelligent, to communicate, and especially be vulnerable. Like, why would we use that against him if he actually
Because if you leave it untreated, it now becomes a everybody problem instead of just your problem, in which I have to say to you again, brother, gets help.
And that's what Sweeney was talking about.
I don't have
Ali,
any
I think the problem is
that hasn't been addressed. So
Ali, I think the
like
problem Ali, I think the problem is something that y'all kind of tangle with each other in the first probably 10 seconds you was on the panel. The light skin privilege. The fact that she is a fair-skinned or light-skinned,
colorism alert,
meaning that she should have a greater chance, or greater opportunities to get it right with men. And the fact that she failed makes it even worse for her.
Who failed?
Given the dark-skinned women, that, because there's a colorism issue going. So when you see the ones who should have had the advantage win and they don't, then you get women like DJ out here.
Stretch Armstrong reach. Nice.
That's why I said, I'm like, I think it's strange that like the reason why I laughed was because there was, like, you said what I said was word salad, right? Fair. That may be word salad to you. However, the reason why I laugh is because there was no, like, you basically, that was like, you know how people are in job interviews and they ask you say 3 things that you can work on, or say there's 3 things that makes you undesirable or problematic, and they say, oh, sometimes I work too hard. Like, they try to get themselves a compliment and pass it off as a negative. That's kind of what you did when you were asked the question about what is some advice you would give to women that may be problematic in the world to kind of fix this whole issue between men and women. So that's why I laughed. But it's okay though.
You didn't address yourself at all. Let's rewind the clip. You didn't address yourself at all.
I don't have to address
in your little
myself.
Diatribe. And that's what I found ironic about it.
The point wasn't to address what we do. We were asked what advice we would give to others.
And that's what I did. Why do you feel the need to critique my advice to others? I didn't critique yours.
Well, I mean, I don't think you heard my advice to others. I don't think you. And you did critique it. You said I said nothing. I did hear
it. It was a bunch of malarkey.
So basically, you did critique it. You said it was a bunch of malarkey.
In my mind, it was I sure did.
So you did critique it, and then you publicly critiqued it.
I sure did. I wrote it off like most of what you say.
And that's fair.
A bunch of jabbering.
And that's fair, but thankfully, you aren't the only one that's listening up here. There's 8 other people on this panel.
Which is why I was
and
quiet.
there's 500 people in the chat
Which is
that
why
are
I was
also
quiet.
here.
So why did you feel the need to
so-
chime in on mine?
Sweetie.
Is the question.
Because I can.
Okay.
Sweetie.
There's nothing
And
wrong
vice
with that.
versa.
Yeah, I
Sweetie.
Jabbering and word salad. Let's move on.
So you
Sweeney,
critiqued it.
Sweeney, can I ask you something real
What's
quick,
up?
bro? I get what
What's
you're
up?
doing, but don't you kind of feel disappointed that after all of the conversations we had, we still can't get women to check a woman when she's out of line? Clearly.
That's the worst part.
And what we'll do to each other is literally
Now
check
they
each
trying to
other,
weaponize
cuss each
women
other
against
out,
each
No,
other. That
no.
ain't gonna work.
and we still have
That ain't gonna work
You
either.
know what?
No, that is the worst part because if any of us disrespected the sisters, every single man on this panel would check them. If we deliberately disrespect any of you, and that's how the sisterhood
Y'all
of the girls,
disrespect
girl.
women so
Right,
much.
my
and
No,
you
we
get
fault
don't.
already.
respect.
No, all of us.
That's true. I just think that everybody doesn't have the space on this panel to speak because I wholeheartedly disagree. I think that it's very disrespectful for everyone to sit up here and speak and to give their point of view and for anyone to brush it off, because I think that everybody has something positive to bring
Thank
to
you.
And I think that DJSoLovely, you are very disrespectful at times when it comes to people getting their point across and speaking to Black men. And I think me and you have had this conversation before. And
Wait, hold on a second.
This comes
So
across
when
to-
it pertains, but when
I don't know if you
I
just do this for
answered,
social
but
media.
when I
I don't
answered,
know-
but
I
when
don't know
they
what you-
answered,
what
I
you
didn't
do,
interrupt
but
them.
it-
I
it's
did not
disrespectful.
interrupt
Hold on,
them.
hold on,
I
one
did
at a
not
time.
interject.
If y'all talk at the same time, we can't hear either one
I
of you.
did not interrupt them and I did not interject. So I did not disrespect them. I let whatever they said live and breathe. And when it was my turn, it was met with disrespect, chuckles, interruption. I did not laugh. I did not chuckle. I did not interrupt. I did not interject. I let them say what they had to say, give their advice or their word salad or what have you. The only time that I had something to say is when I was disrespected. And when I'm disrespected, I'm going to see your disrespect and raise you one. So stop with this one-sided shit. It's not going to work. If you disrespect me, you are going to be met with disrespect. I did not disrespect any of these gentlemen up here. When they said something, I let it breathe. I had nothing to say. If I had something to say or I interjected, then speak on that.
What I'm saying is that your attitude around the things that they're saying is disrespectful. I'm not necessarily saying that you cut them off or you curse them out, but I'm just saying your attitude around what they're saying. Like, we are literally saying, how can we or how can everyone do something better, right? And so Sweeney, Darwin, they all gave their perspectives. And for you to say that the things that they're saying, you're pretty much saying what they're saying is bullshit. And it wasn't. Everybody.
So when
hated
they
it.
were chuckling, you didn't feel the need to say that was bullshit. You're not going to comment on
Oh,
that.
I
And
missed
what
it.
made
I
me
missed the
wait,
chuckle.
what
Sorry.
made me react, and then you let them line you up to confront me about some shit where I was reacting, and you have yet to comment on what they did to disrespect me, to put me in a position to react to them, but you want to confront me, being the pick me that you are.
Oh no, don't
To
do that
tell
to her.
me,
Y'all not
tell
picking
me,
I just,
wait,
Don't
to
do that.
tell me about what I reacted
DJ, don't
to.
do that to her.
But
She's
you're
just trying
not
to
going.
help.
No. See, again, y'all are one-sided reacting because she's finding her. She allowed these niggas to line her up.
Nobody had to line me up. I have 2 degrees. I'm
So
very
to think
intelligent.
that she
Nobody
can
lined me
confront
up. I've
me,
been having my
but she
opinion. I
hasn't
just
confronted these
and be
niggas
who
for
you are.
interjecting when I was giving my opinion and when I was giving my advice and when I didn't interrupt, chuckle, interject on anybody's shit. I didn't comment. And when it was time for me to comment and I was met with disrespect, when I react, I'm wrong. Right? When I react, I'm wrong, but you haven't commented on why I am saying this. You haven't commented on that, Aisha.
So why did you feel the need to say what Sweeney said was irrelevant? Why did you feel the
Because he
need?
was chuckling when I said what I had to say, Aisha.
He was chuckling at your comment based on
Yes, ma'am.
to chuckle.
Yes, ma'am. Which got me to say, oh, what's so fun? So see, this is what I'm saying. We hear and see what we want to hear. You in your mind have already made me out to be the villain, and you're not paying attention
I don't
to
think
why.
you're a villain at all.
But you're not paying attention to the series of events, Mama. You're not paying
Because I'm trying
attention
to
to what
understand
put
when
me.
did DJ
You're not
disrespect
paying
anybody?
attention to the series of events and what put me in this
She been,
place.
she been calling Bruiser PTSD all night, and she been calling us niggas, and ain't nobody
Literally
need.
in the military, so I'm just like, I don't know where that comment came from. But my comment wasn't about the PTSD per se. I just felt like I didn't see the giggle or the chuckle from Sweeney, but I just felt like I heard everybody on the Voices panel, and when she came up, I feel like she disregarded it by saying, "I didn't hear what you were saying."
Of course,
And it didn't
because
matter.
you're
I didn't
hearing
hear that she
you're
was
hearing one thing and you refuse to see the other side. I
But
get it. You do it a lot.
Got it.